Good evening to one and all. Welcome to the online screening of the celebration of the birth centenary of former statesman and former Chief Minister, late Shri Brington Buhai Lyngdoh. We warmly welcome you to this event. It is our privilege and our honor to share this legacy of a lifetime dedication of a man who commanded love and respect from different sections and strata of society, and even from his strongest critics. Today, the 2nd of February 2022, marks the beginning of a year-long celebration in honor of the 100th birth anniversary of former statesman, late Shri B.B. Lyngdoh. To start with, we shall have a welcome speech by Mrs. Sirpailen Khongla, daughter of late Shri B.B. Lyngdoh.
Good evening. I am very pleased to welcome you all on this auspicious day as we observe and celebrate the 100th birth anniversary of a celebrated political leader and statesman, late Shri B.B. Lyngdoh. On behalf of the B.B. Lyngdoh Birth Centenary Celebration Committee, I hereby warmly welcome His Excellency Shri Satyapal Malik, Honorable Governor of Meghalaya, the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Shri Conrad K. Sangma, the Honorable Speaker of the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly, Shri Medba Lyngdoh, and Shri R.B. Wardry, former Ambassador, Government of India. It is my pleasure to welcome my late father's old colleagues, Dr. D.D. Lapang, Shri Salseng Marak, Shri Martel Mukim, Shri B.G. Momin, Shri S.D. Khongwir, Shri Albiston Sangma, and Shri A.H. Scott Lyngdoh. I would also like to welcome honorable legislators of the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly, honorable members of the district councils, public leaders from different institutions and organizations from across the state. I would like to extend my welcome to the media, both print and electronic, to this occasion. I heartily welcome the people from all corners of the state who are tuning in into today's program. Today, let us have a glimpse of the man, the statesman as he is known, his commitment and dedication of 50 years to public service, from the formation of Meghalaya to its upliftment and progress. His contribution to the region, to Northeast as a whole, has been enormous. He has toured and visited all the 7 states and took up common issues of the region with Delhi and central leaders. As a nationalist, Mr. B.B. Lyngdoh has shared his views and ideas with leaders from across the country and abroad. I once again warmly welcome you all to the birth centenary celebration of my father. Thank you. Kublai Shibuan.
To commemorate this auspicious day, may I now welcome Rang Majau and group from Lyngdoh to present the song Kapor Bala Alej. This song befits the occasion as it is one of late Shri B.B. Lyngdoh's favorite songs. May I now welcome Rang Majau and his group.
Kaniga jingruai kalong jingruai ke iba B.B. Lyngdoh ichu sutanat bha banruai hakipor mabanshwa. Man ba idon meeting ichu khot yang aban tem bat irwai ma i kaniga jingruai. Kumta kum ka jinggan mau i ya i ha kaniga lengku si kha ka jung i ka basispa. Ngadon hang ne ba i parlok jonga nin ai kaniga jingruai ka ba ichu sutanat ma i hakipor iba manshwa. Yon ba leiru wat lananga shachai pi her jingmot shapi ga be jing so jing san happy ngana she sachi sen her nada kwa ban long pat ukena dan her biang shaki por bachai shaki mon kaherima sachi sen her nada kwa ban long pat ukena kisai kuti kisai telai metsi banyaneka Giding tiêu sa la tong ban tha Ki bat moi na ban klemen ja Ya ki ban yo ai ngan sha sho compare na mar ngate por kansawan jingkit hanga ken ban at piru pon pinang bran bran mat pur sam ki kan do habaya pingam la yoshu shanongan wa chan bongan shem Gostim karisha dem Sachi sen her nada kwa Wan long pat ukena Kisai kuti kisai telai Metsi banyaneka Por balale kin omwan ayom bai narikir ngai na pi pen na pingam klen daleleiru wadlananga shachai pi her jingmot shapi ga be jing so jing san happy ngala she
To further enlighten our viewers of the late statesman, I welcome Mr. R.V. Warjari, former diplomat and ambassador, Government of India, to deliver the keynote address.
Meghalaya just celebrated 50 years of its birthday. And today we celebrate 100 years of the birth centenary of a prime leader of the Hill State movement that founded the state of Meghalaya, B.B. Lyngdoh. I have been honored with this keynote address. My idea of doing justice to the keynote address is to try and put in context the policies, views, statements, anecdotes, events, occasions which would encapsulate the life and journey of B.B. Lyngdoh. It is said that politicians are thought of as people who will say or do anything to get elected or to gain power. Whereas a statesman is someone who does everything for the common good of the people that he or she represents. Also, that the difference between a politician and a statesman is that a politician thinks about the next election while the statesman thinks about the next generation. I leave it to you to discern whether B.B. Lyngdoh was just a politician or a politician who graduated and matured into a statesman, or a combination of both. The school and young days of B.B. Lyngdoh was largely associated with the Ram Krishna mission. He himself wrote that among those who influenced in his life were Swami Lageshwar Nanda, Kanai Maharaj, besides J.J.M. Nichols Roy. How in 1940 he came across the book Our India by Minu Masane. It fired the imagination and widened the horizon that shaped B.B. Lyngdoh's sense of nationalism. He also joined the Quit India movement led by Mahatma Gandhi in 1942. B.B. Lyngdoh graduated in law and joined the bar. Got involved in the Cold War in 1953-58 when the then Assam government and its neo-imperialist policies was trying to forcibly take over privately owned coal mines in Sora, Sameship, which in a way sown the seeds of the Hill State movement. Then the Assam government exacerbated the situation further by its attempt to impose Assamese as the official language on 24th October 1960, the date which later became the demand day for a hill state till Meghalaya came into being, the process of which began in 1970. Much has been written about the Hill State movement and the contribution and leadership of B.B. Lyngdoh. I will now focus on the public life of B.B. Lyngdoh post 1970 onwards. Coming to state politics, the litmus test about the decisive leadership of B.B. Lyngdoh was during the communal riots in 1979, the wounds of which exist till today. As the Chief Minister, B.B. Lyngdoh stated, the government have that moral and constitutional obligation to protect the life and properties of all persons living in the state, whether they are Meghalayans or Maharashtrians, even whether they are Russians or Chinese or Japanese or Americans, they have to be given protection by the governments. Let not any community leaders or social or cultural or religious groups meddle with the law and order matter. This is particularly significant in the context of the rising hate crimes, the religious bigotry, the ethnic communalism, and more dangerous is the radicalization of the youth in Meghalaya and in India. B.B. Lyngdoh did several firsts in his capacity as the minister. Among them, he was the pioneer of coalition politics and sharing of power that attracted the national media to comment in May 1980 that Meghalaya show the way. It highlighted the cooperation among leaders and parties in the state. He used to say that the political party is not a business company for the gains or benefits of the members thereof. There is no such thing as party interests. To public representatives, he emphasized on integrity, sense of justice, compassion, sacrifice. Public leader meant transparency. Let people know who you are. And his call was, do right is all important. Even as the chief minister, he almost lost the election in 1993. And his reaction was, because he was the chief minister, there was high expectation of my ability to give whatever they want when they have the power, when I have the power. Talking about the government versus the people, he used to say, only 10% work with public spirit and dedication. On the effects of corruption, he used to say government money is free property, that stealing it is no sin. I am afraid this false idea may spread to church money, club money, society money, and money of people's organizations. On government formations, he would say the people never have a say in the matter. No law over lawmakers. He lamented that a farmer, laborer, loses every hour he misses work. On efficiency, he used to say, in the present 20 members under his CMship, the Ministry of Meghalaya, about half are not fit or qualified to be ministers. But they have to be included in the ministry in order to obtain or maintain the majority in the house. When government runs a business, it incurs a loss. So there was nothing wrong in privatization. On education and work culture, in connection with the deficit system, provincialization and vocationalization, he used to say duty to work rather than right to work. Employment should mean productive employment. Most importantly, he was the first to come out with the revolutionary proposal to do a cadastral survey of land in Meghalaya that would lead to a systematic land record system that would be a game changer for the economic prosperity of the state. Unfortunately, the layers of vested interests in the archaic land holding system opposed it till today. Coming to regional politics, in 1980, he said, if we allow bitterness and hatred to dominate us, we may be led astray. Bitterness and hatred in the past had made us selfish and unreasonable, and that is the main reason that led to the fragmentation of the composite state of Assam. On the Northeastern Council, he said that it became a central government. In practice, it became a central government organization or body where CMs are not masters or even members in the true sense of the term. On boundary disputes, his view was there is one territory of India. Units of administration called states and union territories, the smaller the area and the more homogeneous the population structure would be, the more convenient and the more efficient administration and development. On national politics, he insists on the unitary bias of the Indian Constitution. India has a unilateral centralized system, with Delhi maintaining complete sway over all matters, including even those listed as exclusive state subjects. B.B. Lyngdoh was a proponent of the concept of the Commonwealth of India. The existing system had led to centralization of authority and power in a single person. He championed the independence of the judiciary, stressed on the importance of bodies like the National Development Council because it promotes federalism, and affirmed that state leaders are not inferior to central leaders. Bibi Lyngdoh believed in drawing strength and satisfaction from serving his own people in the state rather than aspiring to be a pretending a national Delhi-centric politician. In 1983, the government of India appointed the Sarkaria Commission to examine the issue of center-state relations. Bibi Lyngdoh wrote to Justice Sarkaria and congratulated the government of India for the appointment of the commission. He himself also offered suggestions relating to the 6th Scheduled Finance Commission, also on the unity of the nation, localism and communalism, direct elections, confrontations within the country, power to amend the constitution. And Bibi Lyngdoh was a strong advocate of direct elections of the president or the prime minister or the governor or the chief minister of a state in India. He bemoaned that the mistake of Indian polity is the size of the states. He believed in small is beautiful. Split the whole country into small states. As such, the whole idea of Panchayati Raj was to give powers to local bodies. In moments of jest about the instability and inefficiency of the governments in the Indian democracy, he liked to tell a story of one chief minister's reply to Pandit Nehru's charges of non-performance. That particular worthy chief minister replied that, I quote, "I have only two hands and both of them are fully engaged in holding my chair," unquote. His sense of providing justice to all was that there should be justice and legal aid. Article 39A of the Constitution. At the same time in 1985, he made it clear that judiciary should not be involved in administration. Bibi Lyngdoh was a quintessential state leader who not only used to think national but also think global. At the 1975 Commonwealth Parliament Conference in New Delhi, he spoke about the grave situation arising out of the steep rise in oil prices and its adverse effect on a developing and oil importing country like India. Later, at the 1980 Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference in Lusaka, Zambia, he spoke about the Brandt Report, a new strategy for the developing world, threat of starvation to the developing world. For your information, the Brandt Report was named after its chairman Willy Brandt, who was also used to be Chancellor of Germany. The economics ideas of Bibi Lyngdoh included his knowledge about how industry started with the Industrial Revolution in 1760 to 1840 in Europe, and that the developing world like India had missed it. Other highlights about Bibi Lyngdoh was his advice to modern parents was to how to distribute time. There should be no hurry and haste, and also to participate in sports and games. Among his basic facts of life, he used to say that selfishness is always self-defeating. To the degree that man rises above himself, to that degree he also rises above others. One anecdote about the egalitarian and down-to-earth character in Bibi Lyngdoh, which I came across personally. That was in 1980. He was on his way to Lusaka for the Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference, which I had mentioned, and he was then accompanied by the unassuming but kind and sweet Mrs. Lyngdoh. I was then a young diplomat in Nairobi, Kenya. They had taken the Air India Bombay Nairobi flight on the way to Lusaka. They stopped and halted in Nairobi. I had gone with my Deputy High Commissioner, who's my senior colleague, to the airport to receive them. BB Lyngdoh came down from the aircraft and was carrying his briefcase. The Deputy High Commissioner who was with me offered to carry the briefcase, but BB Lyngdoh insisted on carrying his own briefcase. This was contrary to what other political delegates from the rest of India who were throwing the feudalistic lightweight around. The wry sense of humor of BB Lyngdoh is best summarized in his script's description of his life, which has also been disseminated in the social media lately. That he believed in one wife, one party, one peg, and one religion. And talking about religion, I want to conclude that the basic religious doctrine of BB Lyngdoh was, quote, "Thou shalt love thy God with all thy heart and thy neighbor as thyself." Thank you.
Let us now view a video that takes us through the journey of late Shri BB Lyngdoh from his childhood days to the pinnacle of his political career.
In a small village 22 kilometers away from Shillong, a son was born to Ajra Singh Shabong and Nerimai Lyngdoh Mauplang on the 2nd of February 1922. Their son would go on to become one of the key leaders of the Hill State movement and subsequently one of the longest serving chief ministers of the state of Meghalaya. Brington Buhai Lyngdoh was a bright student. In 1939, he appeared in the All Khasi Jaintia Hills ME examination, where he won a scholarship to complete his matriculation. In the 1940s, he became one of the very few Khasis who was able to join the Scottish Church College in Calcutta to complete his higher education. His drive for academics led him to completing his LLB studies, and thereafter he joined the Shillong Bar in 1952. Apart from his impressive academic accolades, he was deeply affected by a movement that had just started gaining traction in 1954, now known as the Hill State Movement. It was in 1954 where he was elected General Secretary to the Eastern India Tribal Union. The EITU's main agenda was the demand for a separate hill state. It swept the polls in hill areas based on the hill state demand, and BB Lyngdoh won a seat from the Nongpok constituency of the Assam Assembly. The pressure for a separate state mounted such that, in 1970, the Meghalaya Autonomous State Cabinet was formed, and he joined as a finance minister. In the preceding years, he would go on to hold the position of chief minister a total of 4 times. During his time in office, he was often referred to as a master coalition builder, forming a 26-member ministry in 1998. His contribution to the development of the state of Meghalaya cannot be understated. He is one of the very few political veterans who was respected on all fronts, most notably for his motto, "Do right, you need not do good." BB Lyngdoh is fondly remembered not only as a lauded politician, but a respectable man. Upon his death in 2003, busloads of mourners from all over Meghalaya came down to pay their respects. Meghalaya had not lost just a former chief minister, they lost a man of impeccable character and honesty. For his 100th birthday, we look back at the man and his achievements, Brington Buhai Lyngdoh, the grand old man of Meghalaya politics.
We are delighted to have a speech by Shri Medba Lyngdoh, our Speaker of the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly, Government of Meghalaya.
I'm glad to learn this day in remembering the 100th birth anniversary of late Brington Buhai Lyngdoh. Personally, for me, late Bring was blessed with remarkable knowledge and intellect. Remembering him as an architect of the MLA scheme, also as referred by many as a master coalition builder, the former chief minister is one of the few veterans of Meghalaya politics who are respected across the party lines. We, the people of Meghalaya, remember his extensive contributions to state development and his immense contribution towards the struggle for statehood and building a progressive Meghalaya. He had a great vision for our state and had worked to fulfill it as a chief minister. He was also the long-serving chief minister from a regional party and has been the architect of several coalition governments in his 30 years long political career and was a chief minister in at least 2 of these. As a leader, late Bring have inspired hope and dreams amongst the one he leads. His tenure may go, but not the good he has done. Happy 100th birth anniversary to this great leader.
May I now invite the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Shri Conrad K. Sangma, to offer a speech on this auspicious occasion.
Friends, today on the 100th birth anniversary of late Honorable Shri B.B. Lyngdoh, we remember his persona and his contribution to the state of Meghalaya. This year marks the 50th year of statehood for Meghalaya, and we are indebted to leaders like him for their invaluable contribution towards the Hill State movement leading to the formation of our Meghalaya state. As the General Secretary of the Hills Tribal Union, he demanded for separate statehood of 6 Assam Hills Autonomous Districts. He represented Meghalaya in its formative years on international forums as a chief minister. He played a critical role in the formation of all parties coalition government in 1988 as chairman of the State Planning Board, where my father, late Shri P.A. Sangma, was a chief minister. Friends, during Meghalaya's 25th statehood celebration, Shri B.B. Lyngdoh was honored by the Legislative Assembly for his contributions since the inception of the Hill State. We are a state built on the foundation of cooperation, brotherhood, and sacrifice of our communities, a key pathway shown by Shri Lyngdoh. He was one of the longest serving chief ministers of Meghalaya and was one of the tallest leaders of our state. Shri Lyngdoh not only enriched our state politics, but he also immensely contributed to national politics. Ours is a state of rich cultural heritage, where we work together to build our society. He took this endeavor to the national level, wherein he is referred as one of the earliest initiators of coalition politics in the country. Shri Lyngdoh was one of the rarest gems in Indian politics. His motto, "Do right, you need not do good," has guided many leaders to take strong decisions, and he will be remembered for generations to come. On his centenary birth anniversary, let us inculcate his values in our lives in our work and in our service to the people. As we progress towards building the Meghalaya our forefathers envisioned, and towards becoming one among the top 10 states in India, let us draw inspiration from leaders like Shri Bibi Lyngdoh and commit to contributing to the growth story of our beautiful state. Thank you, Kublai, Matela, and Jai Hind.
We're happy to inform that as part of this celebration, a website has been dedicated to Shri Bibi Lyngdoh. This website hosts his writings and photographs and messages from well-wishers. May I now invite our Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Conrad K. Sangma, to officially launch the website.
I am happy to launch the website www.bblyngdoh.com today in honor of the 100th birth anniversary of former Chief Minister Shri Bibi Lyngdoh.
We are privileged to receive a speech by His Excellency Shri Satyapal Malik, Governor of Meghalaya.
साधारण गांव से निकलकर ऊंचाइयों तक गए और उन्होंने अपने बूते पर राजनीति में आगे बढ़े। उनका कोई गॉडफादर नहीं था और उन्होंने राजनीति के नए आयाम स्थापित किए। उन्हीं में इतना साहस था कि वो इंसर्जेंसी नहीं बल्कि वो मानते थे कि ये कुछ नहीं है, ये सिर्फ एक तरह से लोगों को फ्लीस करने का तरीका है, लोगों लूटमार करने का तरीका है। उन्होंने कभी इंसर्जेंसी को तवज्जो नहीं दी और कभी उससे घबराए नहीं। वो खुल के बोलते थे और जो सही बात है वो कहते थे, इसलिए उनका बहुत सम्मान था और आज की राजनीति वालों को उनसे बहुत सीखना चाहिए। उनका मोटो था डू राइट, यू नीड नॉट डू गुड। सही करो, आपको अच्छा करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। और इसी मोटो के आधार पे वो सारा जीवन चलते रहे, इसीलिए उनका बहुत सम्मान रहा और आज के दिन हम उनको एक यहाँ के सबसे बड़े स्टेट्समैन के तौर पे याद करते हैं।
Before we conclude the program, may I now invite Dr. Adrina Lyngdoh to propose the vote of thanks.
I deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this memorable occasion. Let me first of all start by giving glory to the Almighty God for making this online program a resounding success. On behalf of the Bibi Lyngdoh Birth Centenary Celebration Committee, I'd like to express our sincere thanks to the Honorable Governor of Meghalaya, Shri Satyapal Malik, for your kind words in remembrance of our leader and statesman of Meghalaya. Our gratitude also goes to the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Shri Conrad K. Sangma, for your rich tribute and inspiring message. We would like to thank the Speaker of the Meghalaya Legislative Assembly, Shri Mebanlamphang, for your wonderful message. We are grateful to our keynote speaker, Shri Rudy Wardry, former diplomat and ambassador, Government of India, for narrating the life and works of Shri Bibi Lyngdoh. We thank Mr. Rang Majao and group for delivering that delightful song for the program. We thank Sweet Cadence for their technical support. We thank members of the press fraternity for covering this event in the various newspapers and electronic media. We thank all the distinguished invitees, well-wishers, and family members who have tuned in to this program this evening. Last but not the least, a heartfelt thanks goes to all the birth centenary celebration committee members who have worked hard to ensure that this event is a memorable success. We'd also like to thank our host of the evening, Jennifer War, for ensuring this program runs smoothly. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, viewers, for being a part of this celebration. May we be reminded of the values of late Sri Bibi Lyngdoh, that as a man of integrity, he never compromised on truth and justice. Kublai Shibun.